Welcome back, McFly subscribers. Today we are continuing the Panfish fly series with the foam beetle, one of the most popular sunfish flies. I will discuss this fly and its uses later in the video, as I'm sure you want to get started tying right away. But in case you haven't seen this channel before, this is McFly Angler.
Starts now.
Okay, let's start tying. Place a hook securely in your vise. For a hook, I'm using Resin's 9214 in size 14. I like to use nymph hooks for foam dry flies, as foam is buoyant enough to hold it up, and the weight of the hook is going to make it land right side up more often. Now this 9214 is a standard length hook as well. You don't need a long shank, and you really don't want a short shank either. Also, a down eye is pretty important as well. Also, we're going to need some thread, and I'm using Viva's 6/0 in black today. Start your thread a hook eye back from the hook eye and snip or snap off the waist. Then bring your thread down to the start of the hook bend with some smooth wraps. And then come back up, but here you can just do open spiral wraps. Okay, now we need some foam, and I'm using 2mm in black. Measure out about a hook gap width with your hook like so, and then cut a strip off of the foam swatch trying to get it even. And a piece this long will tie 4 to 5 of these flies. Now I like to cut the corners off the top to make it easier to tie in. Okay, so lay this on top of the hook, canted slightly towards you, as when we tie this down it will turn the foam slightly and end up directly on top. Now make open spiral wraps down the hook shank, ensuring that the foam stays on top of the hook. And you want to tie back quite a bit, down partially into the hook bend like so. Then come back up. And back down, binding down the foam more and more. It's okay though if this looks messy, as it will be covered up. Okay, now we need some body wrap. And traditionally I believe these were tied with peacock hurl. However, those are rather fragile, and sunfish are like little piranhas. So I like using flashy dubbing, like this UV2 Diamond Bright. Some flashy dubbings have peacock color, but I don't have that here. Now this olive brown though is pretty close, as you can see how it looks similar to the colors of the peacock. Okay, let's grab a pinch of this, and you do want a fair amount. About this much. Separate it slightly in your fingers as well. Okay, let's dub this on, creating a loose noodle. Then start winding this on the hook shank with touching wraps, covering up the thread and foam. Now I didn't have enough, so I'm adding a little bit more. And you want to cover up about 2 hook eye lengths shy of the hook eye. Then pull the foam up and over the hook shank, cant it slightly towards you, and then wrap over the foam, trying to make the wrap as even as possible. Then make a few more wraps to bind it down tight. Now start wrapping up to the hook eye, creating a little space of thread like so, but leave just a little space back from the hook eye. Then pull the foam back and wrap in front of it a few times. This will help lift it up slightly off the hook eye. And then end with your thread back in the center of the thread wraps. Okay, let's now cut off the excess foam, leaving a little head like so. And now we need some rubber legs. I really like these centipede legs for this, and I'm using speckled yellow today, and you want the small size. Now you could also use a standard round rubber legs for this, which come in solid colors, and I think black is pretty common. However, I really like the speckling of the centipede legs. So let's clip one off the strand, and then fold it in half and align the tips. Lay this on top of the fly, and tie it in directly in the center of the bunch with 2 light wraps. Now I'm sorry that this was out of camera view, but you want to clip the loop off. And this will leave you with 2 legs. Then move one leg to the side like so, and the other leg to the other side. Now you can tighten your thread. However, it will cause the legs to move a bit, so you can readjust them later if needed. Let's get a little more of that dubbing, about half of what we used for the body, and wrap that over the legs and thread wraps once the legs are repositioned. Now we need some more foam for a hot spot, and razor foam is perfect for this because it's so thin. However, you could use standard 2mm foam if you want. It's just going to stand up higher. Measure this foam out so it's slightly thinner than the body foam, and then cut this evenly off the swatch. And this will also tie 4 to 5 of these flies, same as the body foam. Lay this on top of the fly, with the end sticking out just shy of the body foam head, and make 2 medium pressure wraps over it. Then pull everything up, and bring your thread to right behind the hook eye. Now you can whip finish the fly. Now usually I would tell you to whip finish from back to front, but on this fly you actually want to push the whip finish back up against the head there, and this will help raise that front even more off the hook eye. Now let's cut off the hot spot, leaving a small section like this. Let's also trim the legs. And you can make them as long or short as you want. But I like cutting the front legs about double the length of the head, and the back legs to just past the back of the fly like so. Okay, let's cement this fly. And for that, I really like Solarez Ultra Thin. Just paint a little on the whip finish and cure it with UV light. Another great use for this resin is to lift that head even more. Pull it back and wipe a bit on the underside. And while still holding it back, cure it, and it will help keep that head standing off the hook eye. Okay, one more use is to adjust the legs. If you paint a little on the base of the leg and then pull it back and cure it, the leg will not be sticking out as much. Now this is not necessary, but if it's a look you want, then this could be helpful. You could do this to the front legs also if you wanted, but it's all up to you. Okay, last step for me is to brush out the dubbing body to make sure that it is more buggy. While the fly is fishable if you don't do this, I feel it seems to catch more fish when the dubbing is brushed out. Granted, this will happen naturally while fishing the fly, and it's going to get more buggy with each fish strike. Okay, well there we have it, the finished foam beetle. The fly is fishable just like this. But if you want to pretty up the fly a bit, you can cut the corners off the head and round it out like so. You could also cut the hot spot into a point like this, but it's all up to you if you want to spend the time making this fancy or not. So for any of you who fish sunfish regularly, you know that they absolutely love this fly. And it's one of the easiest dry flies to tie. For me, this is a perfect recipe for a fly I want to keep in my fly box. I can tie up a couple dozen of these in an hour, filling up a fly box, and then go have a great day fishing for sunfish, watching them thrash the surface over these bugs. They're not too big, so even the smaller sunnies can be hooked, but it doesn't stop larger sunfish, or even bass, from giving them a taste. Now I want to show you the more traditional foam beetle. This is tied with the peacock hurl body and the standard round rubber legs. Like I said though, I really like using the centipede legs, and they come in so many great colors, more than I even have here. So you can get creative and change up the fly colors. You could even use silicone legs for these, however they're a little bit more fragile, but they do come in some really cool colors. So here's a foam beetle I tied with some pink silicone legs and a super bright chartreuse foam. You really can get creative and tie these in any colors you want, since foam, rubber legs, and even dubbing come in so many different color options. Here's a yellow one, and let me know in the comments section if you like fishing any other colors, or just a standard black beetle. Okay, well I'm 2 fly patterns into the Panfish fly series, with 3 more patterns to go in order to fill up this fly box. Last week I tied the bully bluegill for you all, so if you haven't already, I suggest checking that video out. I will link to it at the end of this video. Next week I plan on tying the Carter's rubber leg dragonfly. This is more of a streamer style fly where you strip it in, instead of the nymph style bully bluegill that I tied last week, which generally you just let sink. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell notification, that way you don't miss any future videos like this dragonfly. By the way, I do sell these waterproof fly boxes on Amazon with free shipping. They can hold these flies without any compression of the materials, yet are thin enough to fit in most shirt pockets, or fit multiple in a chest pack, allowing you to organize your boxes by fly type, like this Panfish fly box. The silicone back is self-healing as well, so even if you do miss the pre-made slots to hold your flies and poke the silicone, it won't get all beat up like those foam back boxes. I will link to my Amazon storefront below in the description section of this video if you're interested. Also, don't forget to check out my sponsor Resin Fly. They made the hooks I use today, but they also make some of the best fly rods and reels for the money I have ever used. Best off, they're offering you all a discount. So if you're in the market for a new rod or a bunch of hooks or beads, go to www.risenfly.com and type in McFly at checkout, and they'll give you 15% off of your first order with them. Okay, well thanks for watching. If you like this video, please do me a favor and click the like button. Also, if you could share my videos with all your fishing friends. I will see you on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.